Welcome to the Hack Your Habits workshop, a 3-part workshop that will teach you everything that you need to know about habits, how they are the key to changing your life, and how to dominate them. No matter if you're a high school or college student, a young adult at the beginning of your professional career, a parent, or even a grandparent waiting to take control of their destiny and stop letting the past control you. If you're looking for this, let me tell you something, you're in the right place. In this training, I want to show you through different frameworks and techniques how to implement powerful habits that have the power to transform and empower you. If you're a student, building the consistent habit of studying and reducing social media time will greatly improve your performance and surely help you get better grades. If you're an entrepreneur or work for a company, putting in place a habit of reading or just thinking for 10 minutes a day about how you can walk the extra mile and generate value can be what will set you apart from the rest of your peers. Or if you simply feel that life is not that interesting anymore and every day is a photocopy of the previous one, new habits can re-spark its inherent adventurousness. Sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, it's not. I'm Juan Cruz, the founder of Inerize, a personal development and education platform. I've spent more than 7 years and countless hours learning about human psychology, habits, productivity, and personal mastery. I've studied with amazing teachers and mentors, implemented dozens of habits, and accumulated a lot of experience that helped me build this workshop. So I want to share what I've learned and the most useful tips and insights I discovered along the way. So before we begin, make sure to download the workbook for this first class. There you'll find exercises that we're gonna do here and a summary with the most important ideas. So let's get started. The majority of people go through life in automatic pilot. They act the same way over and over again, engage in the same behaviors and patterns of thinking, and therefore obtain the same outcomes. Most of what we do and how we think are a result of what we learned in school, at home from our parents, friends, and society in general. Naturally, we feel stuck and believe that life has become boring and repetitive. We then blame it on genetics, other people, or simply on destiny or luck. But the only ones to blame here are the habits we've adopted. The dictionary defines habit as a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that's hard to give up. Of course, they can be positive such as meditating and eating healthy, or negative like watching TV until late hours in the night or smoking. For good or bad, our life consists mainly on the habits we implemented, and as we saw, most of them were unconsciously absorbed in the past. So now, take a few moments and go to the workbook. In the first exercise, I want you to think about the habits that you engage in during the day. Think about your morning and evening routine, what you usually eat, how you tend to think, how you behave during work or classes, what you do when you get home, and so on. The idea is to increase your awareness and realize that the way you go through your day is not necessarily how life is meant to be lived. It's just a collection of habits, and most of them keep you stuck where you are. Feel free to pause this video to do the exercise. Awesome, now that you know which habits you engage with, let's move on and discover how habits truly work. The habit loop is a concept that was first introduced in Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, and later refined by Nir Eyal in his book Hooked, and it aims to explain how habits are built. Learning about its components will help us understand how they work and what we can do to implement empowering ones. The first step in any habit is the cue. It's the trigger that prompts you to engage in a specific behavior. Cues can take many forms like a specific time, 9 AM indicates it's time to have breakfast, objects, the pack of cigarettes on your kitchen table or the running shoes next to your door, or even thoughts. The second step is craving. They are the motivational force and reason behind every habit. After we perceive the cue, our mind begins to imagine how it will feel to engage in the habit and naturally begins to crave for it. We fantasize about how good breakfast will taste, how relaxing it will be to smoke that cigarette, and how good it will feel during and after the 30-minute running session. The third step is a response. So we perceive a cue, there's a craving that propels us to act, and we take action. The response is the habit itself, the action or thought we engage in. And finally, there's the reward. No habit would form if in the end, we don't receive a prize for our actions. The reward is the why we engage in our habits. It can be a feeling such as satisfaction, an object like money, or an outcome like living longer. Again, we have the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. But the story doesn't end here. If we pay attention, this framework is called a loop, and there's a reason behind it. When we finish performing a habit and we feel good about it, the next time we encounter its cue, our mind will remember how good we felt and we'll begin to crave for the reward. We then respond to it by taking action and the cycle begins again. As you can see, a habit is a system that feeds itself, and that's why they are so powerful and so difficult to break. Let's see a few examples. Cue, you wake up. Craving, you want to feel alert. Response, you make and then drink a cup of coffee. Reward, you feel alert. Cue, you see your running shoes. Craving, you want to feel good with yourself. Response, you change up and go for a run. Reward, you feel amazing. And you get to live longer. Cue, your alarm rings. Craving, you want to keep sleeping. Response, you turn off the alarm. Reward, you get a few more minutes of sleep. Simple but powerful, right? Now go to the workbook and search for exercise 2. Choose 3 habits you usually engage in and write down its cue, craving, response, and reward. Beginning to understand why you do what you do is the first step to change your behavior and finally create a more successful and empowering life. Feel free to pause this video right now. Perfect. I hope that you're doing the exercises to make the most out of this workshop. Enough theory for today. I want you to choose one habit that you want to implement in your life. It can be whatever you want to start doing now that you know that it will make you a better person in the future. Once you determine which habit you'll implement, go to the workbook and write it down in the first box of exercise 3. Below, identify its components. Write down the cue, the craving, the response, and the reward. If, for example, you want to start meditating for 5 minutes each day, it would look something like this. Cue, I'm going to put a chair next to the window that reminds me to meditate. Craving, I want to feel calm and peaceful. Response, I'll meditate. Reward, I'll feel good about myself and I'll be calmer. Take your time to do the exercise as best as you can. The first class of this course is about to end. You've learned what habits are, the importance of them, their inner working, and why they are so powerful. Also, you've hopefully chose a positive habit that you wanted to build and will begin today. And that's a good start, but it's not the end of the story. It's good to know what habits are and how they form, but it's a completely different matter to make them stick. And that's exactly what we're gonna see in the second class. 3 powerful strategies to make your habits sustainable in the long term. So be sure not to miss it tomorrow. If you haven't done the exercises yet, be sure to take the time and do them. Also, comment what you thought about this first class. I'd love to hear your opinion and experience. And of course, stay tuned for tomorrow and discover how to hack your habits and make them stick for real. This is Juan Cruz from Inerize. Thank you very much for watching and see you tomorrow.